to look good here, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things that people don't realize about television or anything, when they see celebrities on the red carpet. What is going on under that dress or suit or whatever it is not necessarily what you see.
This is Front and Center with your host, Jacquie Jordan.
Entertainment and pop culture expert Jacquie Jordan is with us.
We are the show where we talk with the change agents, the storytellers, and the activators, making impact from behind the scenes.
Welcome to Front and Center with Jacquie Jordan. I'm Jacquie Jordan, and we are the show where the change agents, the storytellers, and the activators from behind the scenes take their seat with us now front and center. And our next guest is a longtime friend of mine, professional colleague, and she literally is someone who deserves to have the light shine on her now front and center, because what she does in Hollywood as a Hollywood stylist and a personal brand image consultant is extraordinary. Like, she literally takes wardrobe and makes the talent a masterpiece, a tapestry, and she's so fantastic. And she most recently has been styling for Howie Mandel. I personally know her from a handful of shows, but most famously from the Donnie and Marie show, where she used to dress Donnie and Marie, and many of the celebrity guests that came on the show, which was really fantastic. She's absolutely extraordinary and exquisite, and she just made headlines in Page 6 talking about Meghan Markle's comment, having been a model on Deal or No Deal. And please welcome my dear friend Dina.
It's good to see you.
Really good to see you. I love having you here. So thank you so much. So I love seeing you quoted in Page 6. I know that, you didn't seek that, or it wasn't sought. It was just picked up from your Instagram. However, having been on Deal or No Deal for as long as you have as the celebrity stylist, you had an opinion.
I did.
What were your thoughts when you saw that come out? Her statement in the news.
So, like you said, I got, there was a lot of eyes came to me and attention drawn to me. And quite frankly, a lot of the other models as well, because, when Meghan came out with her statement, she was literally just talking on her podcast with Paris about her experience. And that was her experience. And that's fine. But for me, when I read it, it hit me in a way that struck a chord. And
it was an inconsequential dig.
Exactly. And one of the things that made me upset with is essentially, not only was it my work, so whatever, like it or don't, but I also felt like she was making a judgment call on all the other girls up there that were really hardworking, motivated models that came into this. When she came to the show, it was a known brand. Yeah. So she didn't walk into something not knowing what it was.
Fair enough.
So then to come out and say that, what did you think was going to happen when you got that? The show would change, or we would do things differently. It's like, that's what the show was. And they were all professional models. And, granted, she had other aspirations. She wanted to go into acting, and a lot of girls actually took the opportunity to get, they were in front of millions of people. It was the #1 show for a number of years. Yes. So people really took advantage of that and grew, we didn't have followings back then, right? There was no social media.
People forget that.
They took the opportunity to get on different shows and different opportunities and different partnerships and things like that. So it really just struck me in that, it felt like she was kind of dissing us, the models, the work, the show, all of it. And, my post was not directed at her in a way that was, oh, you're wrong or whatever. No. It was just, everyone's like, she's just speaking her truth. And that is totally fine. I was just speaking mine. Absolutely. And if you go and read the post, it was really just a reaction to say, this was what I experienced there, and again, a lot of the other girls on the show came out and had the same experiences that I did. So that's really where that all came from, I didn't even mention her name in it. So don't ask me how the Daily Mail picked it up, or,
Page 6 is where I saw,
just crazy.
Was it now? So obviously the podcast here is called Front and Center. When I always say we have the behind the scenes people making impact or take the seat front and center. That's what you're doing, because people don't realize how many people it takes to put on a show. And you're a visual artist. That's how I would describe you. You're a visual artist. Your medium, unlike a canvas and paint, is clothing, is wardrobe. You're a visual artist. You create tapestries on people. With wardrobe. I mean, people would underestimate how highly skilled your qualifications are. And you've been doing this for, you don't look it, but you've been doing this for decades.
Yeah.
And to even dress that many women, including Howie Mandel, who always looks fabulous.
Thank you.
But to dress all those women on the show in the way that you do is like, that's not easy.
You say it's not easy. And for me, it's because it's what I do. When you
only know it that way.
I only know how to do this, right? This is what I do. If I was going to go do your job, that would be difficult for me, right? And vice versa. It's, the years of experience. And I do have to say, I came into this business I kind of got here. I didn't seek this out. I didn't, I'm from Jersey, like you. I didn't even know this existed until I got here. I was like, what? People dress them? Never occurred to me. But very early on in my career, I actually had the opportunity on Donnie and Marie to work with a man, Rhett Turner, who back in the day used to do Marie on the Donnie and Marie show. Their first incarnation. He did Carol Burnett and Sonny and Cher. It was him and Bob Mackie did everything. And so I was really fortunate because he really, he and I were, we were really a good match, because I kind of brought him forward and he brought me, backward into the TV world, because things for television versus reality are very different. So I have to look at things with a different eye. Yes. So something's going to look great in person and say, yeah, that's great. We're to a party, but it's not really going to play on camera for whatever reason that is. So, over so many years of experience, and you grow along the way as you do with any career. I've been fortunate to work with some really amazing people that help me along the way. I have great crew, that support. You can't do this on your own. Can you do anything?
No.
I'm very fortunate.
But it's like, so your lens is like the box that we all look at. And, if I were to talk about what I witnessed you do, it's like, you look at what the show schedule is, you look at the talent. So, you do a lot of talent wardrobe for groups. We've worked on TV shows where we've done it for multiple people. So it's not even just one person. You're looking at a whole tapestry of it. And then you go out and you go Zara, your way that you shop is unbelievable. And you would come back with loads of stuff and then lay out wardrobe racks, hallways full of wardrobe racks, to keep that stuff in your brain. Oh my God, I'm just not that woman who even shops. I'm so fascinated by it. And then your method of pinching things, clothespins, how you tuck things, how you dressed Marie Osmond when she was pregnant.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, because we did, there are, again, back to the TV, the reality versus the, what you see, we did, we had done a bunch of segments for a show when she was on the talk show, and we started this and Marie was not pregnant. And then they had one segment that they, it fell out for whatever reason. And we had to go put her in the exact same wardrobe 6 months later. So she's now 6 months pregnant and has to look the exact same to fit in the show. And it's funny because I think I still have a Polaroid, because we didn't have a Polaroid. We cut her entire jacket. Thank God she had a jacket on. Cut the entire jacket up the back, and I had red gaff tape all across the jacket, kind of holding it in place so that it just looked like it laid flat and beautifully. So that was really a moment. But there's a lot of that goes on. I mean, all your toolkit, the safety pins, the clothing pins, the tape, just how you put that together is just so amazing. And it also gives credit to the talent, because the talent, they also know that they're wearing that they are art in that moment, and then they can pull it off. It's funny. Yeah. I just did a huge, it was actually for Fortnite. They had this $1 million competition. And it's, kind of not normally my world, but it was again, 10 people on a stage with lots of colors happening. When you talk about boxes, I mean, it was insane. But this girl, we had this jacket and it was like what they picked, what they want, what she liked it. But it was literally, it just was too puffy. And we are literally, 5 minutes away from going live. And it's funny because Christina says, oh, I should have took pictures and videos. I was Frankensteining that jacket. I cut out all the guts in the sleeves and I'm pinning, and it's, because it has to look good here, and that's one of the things that people don't realize about television. Or anything, when they see celebrities on the red carpet, what is going on under that dress or suit or whatever it is not necessarily what you see, And so I think sometimes people think, oh my gosh, that person always looks so perfect, or they look so polished or whatever, but like the guts of what's going on may be very different.
Yeah, it's so wild to watch you in motion like that. And, your husband is a graphic designer, so just the visual talent in your family, in your marriage, is just always so awe-inspiring to me. And then from my perspective, having been a television producer, producing talent, like what has always made wardrobe so important to me, as well as hair and makeup, is they're the last people with the talent in the most intimate space.
Yeah.
And so like, I can't produce somebody out of the discomfort of what they feel about what they look like.
Yes.
And so the chemistry and I know that you had to deal with all sorts of personalities. And, one of my stories is I had Mackenzie Phillips on one time, and I don't think she was in her best space. And she came out of hair and makeup and she threw such a fit before a live show we were going on at CNBC, and she threw such a catastrophic fit, and I had to just gently switch hair and makeup people to just kind of get her, because it's all that perception. And I'm sure you've had to deal with all of the emotions and the personalities. Yeah.
I mean, it is such a very, wardrobe, hair, makeup, what we do is so very personal, right? Yeah. So when you're like you as the producer role, people get hired to do a task, right? These people are hired to act or to host or whatever that is. So there's sort of a box that either a network or whoever wants to put them in, and that's rightly so. That's what they're creating. But there's also a person inside there, right? And so they're saying, I don't feel like that person that they want me to be. I don't look like that person that they want me to be. Yes. So one of the things that I found over the years for me is, it's really, you have to build trust. And that is for me, one of the most important things, because I kind of have a producer mentality. I'm not like clothes first, producing second.
No,
it all has to go hand in hand, because the person wants to do a great job, but if they're in their head because their blouse is too tight or his suit sleeve is too long, then it throws you. So my job, a big part of my job, is creating that trust to go, look, I have your back, and I'm going to make sure that you feel like you, and we're going to get the producer what they need to see. Yes. And then we're going to marry the two, and it's going to be amazing. And so that's kind of where I always go. That's always kind of my little pitch or talk when I first start with people. And then, because, the very first thing I meet people, I'm like, okay, you have to kind of get naked with me, right?
Right.
You have to.
It's true, right? It's bra, panties, right down to it. Yeah.
And you have to let me know what you're uncomfortable with. So oftentimes I like to, when I can, talk to talent beforehand, so I know what they're uncomfortable with, or what they're kind of, makes them feel discomfort in their clothes or in their skin or in their lives. And then I try to work around that. And, because again, if you, like you're saying, if you don't feel comfortable, you're not going to do your best out there, and you're going to get in your head, and the whole thing is going to be a wash.
And, I just would love to have you in my back pocket. I know from time to time over the years, I've called you and I've been like, Dina, I'm doing this event. Can you just give what pointers you're like? Big heels, dress length has got to be at the top of the knees, not a centimeter below it,
Yes.
Cinch waist. And I'm just like, oh my God, all of it. I just can't get over. To me, it is just mad genius. I just think what you do is mad genius.
Well, a lot of it, and like you say, is an art form, in that everybody, everybody's body is different, right? It's not only different dimensionally, people, this way, this way, this way, however your body is, but also proportionately up and down, right? Where is your line? That is one of the biggest things that people that I work with. Again, I was working with some people, and there was a guy this weekend, and I'm like, you cannot have it hit here. I know this is where you're comfortable, but watch what happens. And I literally tell this everyone. I put them in the mirror, and I kind of like lift the t-shirt up or put it down, or I'm like, there's a line where you just look more right, And he was like, oh my gosh, that is mind blowing. Like,
It is.
So much different, but it's just the way, it's a trained eye. Again, I go back to
brilliant
trained eye, and you learn, with different shapes and different people. And, it's not only just the shapes, but it's the personality, your personality. The clothes can't carry you. You have to carry the clothes, right? So if you're not getting to the root of your personality, you're going to always look weird.
and you work with, you work with show budgets. Some show budgets are huge.
Yep.
Some show budgets are not huge at all. Yeah. And yet you still have to deliver the same product.
Yeah. And I think, with, there's so much good stuff out there at, price points. I mean, from Target to Zara to, Neiman's, the whole range, right? But I feel like now the lower end stores are really more in tune with what's going on fashionably. So, 20 years ago, you would go to a lower price store and you couldn't find the same look, and there's a lot of these like looks for less shows and things like that, because they're hiring designers. Target has a brand collaboration with Sergio Hudson, and there's a couple of other ones going on right now. So it's really about finding what works for you and going with that eye into those stores at whatever your price point budget is, and then creating the looks. It really is available to everyone. You just have to know what you're looking for,
I think that is so brilliant. And one of the things that you've said already is that there's a difference between what is presented and what is reality. And I watched you raise your beautiful daughter Ruby into a beautiful young woman. How have you kept her in the reality versus the presentation, especially working in Hollywood, raising an esteemable daughter, when what we're all, especially this generation's all saturated with, are the Kim Kardashians and all of the other celebrities? Like, how do you keep that real? How do you keep that real in real life?
Well, I mean, for Ruby especially, I think one of the things is that, she was raised kind of in this business, seeing what I do. So she's seeing it from the inside out. Right. She gets that there are people like me behind the Kardashians, the influencers. No one's just like all this fabulous. They have a me, they have a hair person, maybe they have multiples of me, and they have all these things, and I try to, with anybody, especially young girls who are, scrolling, is just, if you're looking at something that always is making you feel bad, just stop looking, right? I mean, I do that to myself sometimes. I'll follow somebody and there's this unattainable image because of the team behind them. And, you have to just be cognizant of that fact and be like, okay, that's not reality. Now I do say, look to those people for inspiration, right? But don't try to meet them at that level, because you're just spinning your wheels. The money behind it, the people behind it, the energy behind it. Find what works for you and find those people and use that as inspiration. And it's like an aspirational version, right? And then go out and take it into the real world. Go to where, again, we're back to wherever your pocket can afford, and just look at it that way in small doses. Don't look at it like a competition or I have to be like that, because it really is unattainable, just for a normal person.
That's what we want to hear. So at DMC Styles on Instagram, and you do a lot of layouts, which I really appreciate. And I watch them all the time. Like, you do fabulous little coordination of outfits and styling. What should we be looking for as the women who aren't on television, but want to look like, look as good or as possible as we can, as if we were on television?
I think one of the things is really to know and figure out what your personal style is. So many people get caught up. Should I wear the trendy thing? Should I this? Should I that? And that's why people are always chasing something, right? And one of the things about, like, when you see celebrity or when you see an influencer, they really have a look or a style or a vibe or a feel. It's not always the same, but there's a feeling to it. So I would say the biggest thing is to figure out what that is for you. And, one of the easiest ways to do that is, and I do this when I start a new show with somebody, right? I kind of look at them and what their personality is and go online, go on Pinterest and start looking around and look at what feels like you, and just start making a little mood board for yourself and really define your style. And I also like to kind of bring it down to words. There's a lot of words that, effortless and elegant and this and that, or street style. You can kind of key those in and see what comes up. And then just start looking at it. And then it kind of acts like a roadmap for yourself. And once you know who you are, it's going to be way easier to go, that's a yes, that's a no. That works for my style. That doesn't work for my style. And just do it gradually. Don't go like, oh my gosh, it has to change overnight. Style is a fluid thing and it has to continually grow as you grow. We're not wearing the same things we wore when we were 20, when we're, in our 50s. Or maybe we are, what I mean? And it's just a little different version of it.
Yeah.
Bodies change, styles change, all of it changes. So you just want to, if you're still wearing just, jeans and boots, the jeans have to change.
Yes.
Whatever it is. And so that's what I think it really comes down to, just knowing who you are and staying true to that.
Wow. I just think you are so incredibly talented. I just, I wish I really should have a TV show just literally about what you do, because people have no idea what goes in to dressing people on television and in film. And it's just really so amazing. If you'd like to learn more, please check Dina out at DMC Styles on Instagram. Dina, my God, thank you so much for joining us here on Front and Center.
Thank you so much, Jackie. It was great chatting with you.
If you'd like to know more about Front and Center, please subscribe to us on YouTube and receive our notifications when we post. And also you can find us on any place that you enjoy your favorite podcasts. I'm Jacquie Jordan with Front and Center.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Front and Center with Jacquie Jordan podcast. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram at TVGuestpert. We'd love to hear from you.